Hello and welcome to this occasional series on the different programs that are available at the Ottawa Hospital Division of Nephrology. My name is Swapnil Hiramat. I'm a nephrologist at the Ottawa Hospital, and joining me today is Dr. Ann Bujaya. Dr. Bujaya is the medical director of the Living Kidney Donation Program at the Ottawa Hospital. Dr. Bujaya, can you tell us a little bit more about the Living Kidney Donation Program? What does it do?
Sure. Thanks, Swapnil. We facilitate living kidney donations across our whole region in the eastern region of Ontario, as well as for recipients who may live in other cities and other provinces who have potential donors in Ottawa and our region. So what this actually means is that anyone who's interested in living kidney donation can contact our program. And then from there, we can proceed with further education or go straight to an evaluation process to see if you're an acceptable kidney donor. So it's basically we do the workup of your life in order to ensure donor safety.
So, I mean, is this typically people who are family members or friends who donate, or do other people also donate their organs?
So it can be anyone. You don't have to be related to the person who's looking to receive a kidney. You can be a friend, you can be anyone, a distant relative, and most importantly is that you can also be a non-directed donor or otherwise an anonymous donor. So you can choose to donate a kidney without having an intended recipient. And you can do that through our kidney pair donation program that runs across the country, or you can donate to someone who is waiting for a kidney on the wait list for someone, for example, who's on dialysis with no living donor of their own, who is on a deceased donor waiting list. As a non-directed anonymous donor, you can donate to the next person on the list.
Wow.
Also, you don't have to be blood group compatible with your recipient either to donate a kidney, because we have this paired exchange program called the Kidney Pair Donation Program that's run by Canadian Blood Services all across the country, that takes incompatible pairs and matches them with other incompatible pairs and really expands the pool for living donor kidney transplantation in the country.
Wow, there are so many options available, and these people who donate like altruistic, they are such generous and really interesting that has happened and that movement has taken off. So we'll talk a little bit about the website today. So you launched a new website for living kidney donation at the Ottawa Hospital. What was the impetus? What made you make this website?
So just over a year ago, I was revisiting all of our processes in the Living Kidney Donation Program. I wanted to ensure that we had a more streamlined evaluation process to really get people through faster, let donors know that they're either approved or not approved faster. And part of that is an education process that goes along with all of this. Is everybody needs to understand, both for donors, recipients, family members, friends, anyone they're connected to who's interested in what living kidney donation is. What are some of the common myths? Some people think that you have to be related to your recipient. What is an evaluation process? What does that mean? What does that look like? How do I make this happen? And with feedback from previous kidney donors in our program as well, we decided that it was more than time to revamp our website, make it a little bit more modern, and most importantly, just rejig the content a little bit and make it easier for you to access us. So for example, the first step when you proceed with an evaluation to try to become a kidney donor is we have to get your consent. You have to sign to say, yes, I'm willing to do all of this testing. And you also have to fill out a questionnaire about your health. It's the initial screen to make sure you don't have certain medical conditions that would exclude you off the bat before putting you through all of this testing. So we've made those available on the website in a PDF format that you can print and complete and either fax or scan or mail back to us or bring to us physically. Back to the Living Kidney Donor Program. So that saves some phone calls and some steps and voice messages going back and forth with the program. And again, we'll hopefully make this process more streamlined for you.
Excellent. So let's have a quick look at the website. So the website, if I'm not wrong, is www.tohlivingkidneydonation.com. And I hope you are seeing the website right now. So this has got the the logo with I guess recipient and a donor picture on top. It
From
talks
our
about
institution.
from our institution, and it talks about what is a living kidney donation. Can you walk me through the website, and we can go
Sure.
through some of these options that are there?
Sure. So if we scroll across the top bar,
Mhm.
for example, and you've already have some of the links as well below, like all the links are accessible throughout the website, is we have donor stories. So you can hear from some donors themselves about what their experience was before, at the time of donation, after donation. And here's an example of a non-directed donor, an anonymous donor, Margaret Leary, and that other donor in this donor story right here, where she talks about her journey. And so this is trying to as well to make this more relatable. And we also have connections to the Transplant Ambassadors Program, lots of different ways where you can connect with people who have gone through the process, and peers throughout the province and in Canada as well. So I think that that's an important step, because this is a journey. It's not just the donation itself, but everything that leads up to it and things that can come up afterwards. The Kidney Foundation of Canada also has a peer support program that's scrolled here. So we have lots of ways to connect you to peers to really ensure that you're comfortable and feel like you're well cared for throughout this whole process. It's really a continuum that I can't emphasize enough. Then next to that, we have Mythbusters. So there are a lot of so-called common myths that float around about who can and cannot be a donor. I always encourage that anybody who's thinking about this should call us to clarify, their particular situation and about the possibility of you as an individual being a donor. But here we address some common myths on this website that we that don't commonly get addressed this clearly before and on other sites. So things like you don't have to be in perfect health, you don't have to be related to your recipient, you don't have to have the same blood group. All major religions support this. We talk about pain, diet, activity level, medications, that you don't need to be on medications as a kidney donor. And of course, that you can always change your mind at any time. Calling the program and like reviewing the website, and if you need to call us for more information, you're not obliged to go through any of this.
It is very comprehensive. These are very, very commonly asked questions, I have to admit.
Well, I hope it's I think it's some interesting reading, and hopefully it's not too long for our viewers. And then we thought it would be prudent just to give a little background to what kidneys do and how they work, and this helps in the context of conversations with our program, is having some background in what your kidneys do and what the different options are for people with kidney failure. Is then that also kind of leads into a better understanding of your evaluation process and what you can expect afterwards.
And let's see more about the donor eligibility. This is something which is really common, right? Like who can donate and who cannot donate.
Yeah, and I think this covers sort of the broad points. I mean, there's always unexpected things that could come up or in somebody's individual health. But broadly speaking, if you have diabetes, unfortunately, you cannot donate. And with certain cancers, there might be a waiting period, or you may not be able to donate at all. So again, it's important to ask us. And there's been evolution, over the last couple of decades as to who and who cannot be a donor. And then I think what's also very important, and I can't emphasize enough, and I've already mentioned it, is about what happens after donation. So, getting that post-donation care, or what happens if you're not found to be a suitable donor? Like, do you need to worry? Most likely not. But what happens? What do I need to do? Do I need to see you again? Do I need to see my family doctor? What happens? And I think, again, we're trying to address the whole continuum on this website. And if you look at the little triangle to the right, it automatically bounces you to the top of every page. So even though we have a lot of information, hopefully it's quite easy for you to navigate. And then if you ever just want to jump to getting started, the box to the right called Considering Donation, which is on every page, will bring you right here to the crux of how do you actually get started. So if you're interested, of course, you can call us at any time. There's our phone number and extension right there. And then we have the what we've called information on living kidney donation. This is the consent and the questionnaire available in English and in French, and then all the different ways that you can return the document to us.
Now, how long does it take for the evaluation? What happens when somebody wants to donate?
Yeah, so that brings us to the next tab. And so the evaluation process should not take more than a few months. And what we do not have on the website at this time is that we also have a one-day evaluation process for some donor candidates as well, where you can expect to start and your evaluation process and know whether or not you're approved as a kidney donor within 2 to 3 months as well, at the most. Maybe even hopefully less as we gain more experience with this over time. But traditionally, it's taken up to 9 months at times to be evaluated as a donor at the Ottawa hospital. So we've been really shrinking the time down as much as we can. It's also important to consider that there's also the recipient. So sometimes sometimes very commonly we can have donors who are ready to go, but the recipients are not quite ready for the operation of their transplant yet. So the evaluation process walks you through the intake. Here on the left is really that consent form and that questionnaire. Phase 1 is 1 to 2 days of laboratory testing. And then what we call phase 2 is where you come in and you get a CAT scan of your abdomen to look at all of your anatomy to ensure that it's safe to take a kidney. We do special nuclear testing to really closely evaluate your kidney function and what your kidney function's like from both your left and your right kidneys. We do chest x-ray and electrocardiogram. It's really quite the workup of your life, and we try to do this in as minimal time as possible. And the quicker that we get that consent and questionnaire back, which hopefully will be faster through the website, the faster we start the process, because that's often where we see a delay, is just getting back those initial forms.
And it is like, I was just reading, it's a self-referral, right? The first step is that the donor themselves have to come forward. Nobody's forcing them saying, hey, you are going to donate. They are coming forward saying, hey, we want to donate our kidneys.
Exactly. We don't solicit kidney donation. No program in Canada solicits kidney donation. The first step is you have to reach out to us. And that first reach out, as I said, could be you've completed that consent form and questionnaire and you've gotten that back to us. And as soon as we get that, we'll call you back within a day or two and we can get going. This is also some information that you've got up here, Swapnil, is about some reimbursement for expenses of living donors. We know that this isn't not necessarily a cost neutral process for people who are interested. So there are ways to collect up to $5,500 of expenses in the province of Ontario. And so this is basically a link to some further information about that from the province. So things like hospital parking can be covered, for example, as one example. There's a meal allowance, I believe, etc. So we also have social work support in the program who can help guide you through this process if there are any issues.
I did not know that. I've learned something today. I can tell donors the next time. And what happens with the actual surgery?
So here you learn about the actual surgical procedure. Of course, you learn lots about it when you meet with one of our great transplant surgeons. But most of the time, you only require 3 very small incisions, what we call a laparoscopic nephrectomy, to remove your kidney. And within 4 to 6 weeks, you're almost always back to your usual daily activities. Sometimes you can have a little bit of discomfort, particularly if something rubs up against the scar, because it can take some months for those incisions, to heal perfectly well and get that skin back to normal. But we provide some information here. And of course, there are lots of, YouTube videos and other resources that you can watch if you really want to get more detail in what the surgery looks like. But our surgeons go through the CAT scan with you to show you your anatomy, let you know, what kidney they think would be best to take, and really walk you through it with all the images as well at the time of your consultation with them.
Interesting. Is there anything else on the website that we should be looking at?
And then if you look at the More button off to the far right there after donation, we emphasize that we feel that our program has one of the best follow-up programs in the country. We follow you at least until 1 year after your donation, at which point you have the option to follow up with us yearly or to follow up with your family physician, essentially to have your kidney function and your blood pressure and your urine checked for any protein, just to make sure that everything is essentially functioning well with your remaining kidney. And it also gives you time, particularly in that first year, that if you have any concerns or, perhaps something's happened with the recipient, with your kidney that's gone into that person and your loved one, or perhaps you've had a change and something's changed in the relationship that you have with your recipient. Things in life can arise. And at least in that first year, you have excellent access to us to be able to work through those issues, although they are rare, but sometimes things arise. And you can have the confidence that you have access to us and that everything is going well with your health, both your medical health and your mental and physical and psychological well-being.
Fabulous. Yeah, it's really, this is very, very interesting. It's very comprehensive. It's a really good resource. And you can just click on consider donation to get the consent forms or become a donor, I guess. Both links take you to there. So the website URL again is tohlivingkidneydonation.com. We'll put the link in the comments below the video as well. Thank you again for that great overview. Is there something else you would like to say to finish off?
Well, thank you, Swapnil, for the opportunity to showcase our website. We feel very strongly about the fact that living kidney donation, this is the best way to treat kidney failure. This is the gold standard. I can't emphasize that enough. So for anyone who's interested, please refer to our website, please reach out, and we would be happy to help you in any way.
Fantastic. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you.